I came across this article, can Top Glove surpass the market cap of ASEAN's largest bank? Now, that of course is DBS, formidable DBS with 24,000 employees. What about Top Glove? If you thought that's a ridiculous idea, Top Glove actually has 19,000 employees. And not only that, they are the world's biggest glove manufacturer, conquering a quarter of market share. Now, that is some awesome feat to achieve. And just in case you don't really know, Top Glove in terms of market cap is already bigger than some of Malaysia's biggest banks, such as Leong, such as CIMB. And if you don't really know, glove manufacturers, those that are listed, have seen their share price skyrocket. I have this chart to show you over here. Let's look at the top one over there, Care Plus Group. That has year-to-date change of 3,330%. That is 33 times. $1 becomes $33. That's a crazy growth. But nonetheless, I've circled for you today, for today's discussion, Top Glove. They're the number one player. And number two player, just to give you a landscape overview, is actually Hatta Laga. Number three is Supermax, but only Top Glove is listed also in Singapore. So today, I'll be answering this question. Is Top Glove a bubble that's going to be bursting? Let's answer it and let's move on to the video right now. Hi guys, welcome back. Now in this first part, let me touch on Top Glove for you. And before that, let me just briefly explain what the glove market situation actually looks like. There are two kinds of glove actually. One is the Nitrile glove and one is the latex glove. And just in case you don't know which is being used by what, I have this to show you over here. This actually explains. Nitrile gloves are those that actually found in Lazada, those you can buy off the rack. For those people doing swabbing, they're actually wearing this. And for latex gloves, they're actually used by surgeons and doctors doing minor procedures. So those are the more hugging one, more rubbery one. So there are two kinds of gloves. And let's look at this over here. This actually shows you, the worldwide consumption in terms of gloves. And the interesting finding that I have is actually nitrile gloves are getting more and more in demand. With this pandemic, this ratio is definitely going to go up because every country is consuming so many nitrile gloves right now. So also to look at the revenue model of Top Glove, to understand which glove is contributing how much revenue, 50% of revenue actually comes from nitrile glove, and moving forward, this figure is likely going to increase because the demand from nitrile gloves is just so humongous. I have real data to show you in a while. And I've actually some findings. These findings come from the third quarter of financial year 2020, and that ended in 31st May. And I'll leave links below just in case you want to find out a little bit more details. And I have interesting findings to show you. Let me pull up this. This is mentioned positive attributing factors, and there's unparalleled sales growth because of this pandemic. Monthly sales went up by 180%, resulting in long lead times, which went up from 40 days to 400 days. 400 days lead time, which means you order now, you only get more than a year later. So that is ridiculous. So in addition to that, it's also mentioned that the utilization rate from pre-COVID days was 85% of their factory, and now it's 95%, which results in greater efficiency and economies of scale. That explains to me that they usually have fixed costs, and then when they have more production, the fixed cost is fixed. Higher utilization means the cost does not go up in addition to more production. So fixed cost is a big attributing factor. Then the next part, boxed up in green, is actually in this revision in average selling price. They're trying to explain to shareholders that their selling price of the products, they've been revising it upwards. And how much is it? I'm sure you'll be very surprised. This is actually a chart that explains it. As you can see over there, they've actually raised their prices by so much. All three products have seen their price spike tremendously because of this pandemic. Of course, they're projecting some figures also, but as you can see over there, it's a few times the pricing they are pushing down to customers. And the reason they are able to do so, as mentioned previously in that slide, is the lead time for the glove production is so ridiculously long right now. If you order a nitrile glove from Top Glove today, you have to wait 560 days. That is almost 2 years. That is crazy. That shows that demand and supply is right now at a very unprecedented imbalance. There's so much demand, and yet the supply needs years to catch up with it. So that puts the dynamics very favorably to Top Glove. And in the next segment, I have numbers to show you in terms of their financial performance. Now, before you get there, you should expect the numbers are going to look super beautiful. Why? Because they are selling more units than ever before. Every country that has COVID-19 requires gloves in one way or another. And not only that, they're selling each unit at an unprecedented profit margin. Win-win. Sell more units at an unprecedented margin. Now, you don't even become a businessman to know that this kind of scenario, your numbers are going to look super beautiful, through the roof. How good? Let me pull this up for you to see. This is the quarterly statement, and this reflects March, April, May 2020, where pandemic has already spread around the world. And this is a good reflection of what is going to happen at least for 2020. And what they have shown, profitability has increased by 4.7 times, and earnings per share has increased also by 4.7 times. This is a super result. This is going to cause each and every shareholder to be really excited, and that is why shareholders have actually bidded up the share price of Top Glove almost also by 4.7 times. It used to be close to $2, now it's $9 plus. Now, because share price has actually spiked, the forward price to earnings has stayed elevated at this 54.3 times. Now, price earnings ratio, take it with a pinch of salt. It just tells you in terms of a simple ratio how expensive a company exactly is. And because earnings went up and yet share price went up, this price earnings ratio forward looking is still staying at this 54 times, which is in most comparisons still expensive. So again, that's for you to consider whether they are able to deliver a result that's even above what they are showing in this first quarter or not. So I've actually a previous story to really highlight the point of not being too short-term minded. Genting Singapore, back in 2010, it was a market darling. That time, integrated resort just opened. At that point of time, global financial crisis just ended. And Genting Singapore actually delivered a result that was mind-blowing. It delivered so much profitability. And analysts and everybody was so hyped up on Genting Singapore. I have this article to show you over here. In a day, Genting soared by 14% or so. At that point of time, share price was $1.46. And analysts at that point of time were speculating Genting would eventually reach $3 per share. Now, Genting actually saw its share price continue to climb at least for a couple of weeks. Eventually, it peaked up at about $2.10, $2.20. But the moral of the story is, a supernormal year or supernormal few years may not be able to deliver a persistently high share price. When you're investing for a long term. If 1 year is good and next year is not so good, share price will come down. And that's what happened to Genting. Don't stay trapped in the moment, and that's why bubbles spike and bubbles tend to burst. In next section, I'll touch on how you should actually get invested into a potential bubble and what you should do, and that part will certainly have some interesting sharings for you. Now, if you have followed until here so far, smash your like so that more people can see valuable content like this. Again, smash your subscribe, join our family, become more financially savvy. Now I'll touch on what you should expect in a bubble, how you can get invested, and if you are already in a bubble, what to do. I've classified this into a few simple phases for you to understand. The first is actually the stealth phase. In this stealth phase, insiders are buying. They always call it smart money. Directors are buying, etc., etc. And there's actually an example that I'd like to show you. This example is none other than Riverstone. Riverstone is also in the glove business. And what can we see over here? Riverstone's director, Mr. Wong, was actually buying furiously in the March and April period. He was buying almost every day. That's such a crazy amount. And that's where, most people are still not aware of things, of where the direction of the industry is actually going. So that's actually smart money. But nonetheless, shareholder buying is not conclusive. It just is a stage whereby we classify as stealth. At the next phase, we call it as awareness phase. In this awareness phase, you realize that media starts to cover the industry a little bit better. And using the glove manufacturing industry, such an example really highlights to you that things have moved on to the awareness phase. Read this article. The pandemic is now a bonanza for Malaysia's medical glove industry. And this actually is in April 2020. Now, analysts are starting to realize, hey, things are looking rosy. But not everybody is on the same page. Some people feel that this pandemic is short-lived and that numbers will eventually decline very quickly. So there's still this tug of war whether is everything going to spike up crazily or not. So in this awareness phase, it's actually very beautiful to get invested in. And the third phase actually comes after. I've mentioned that some people are bullish and some people are not. In this third phase, we call it the bullish phase, the bubble phase. In this bubble phase, those that are not convinced are all hyped up and are all congruent with the bullish people. You will hardly find anybody that is bearish anymore. And in this bullish bubble phase, share price will look like what has happened to Top Glove. Let me pull this up for you to see again. The share price has spiked tremendously for this year, 4 times that crazy amount reflected in that red line over there. And it's not only in top glove or the glove industry, to be honest. It can be found in many places. And one example is actually in Tesla. Tesla's share price itself has actually spiked from $200+ to $1,400 simply because everybody is bullish on it right now. It's in a bubble state already. So a few key parts. When you are in a bubble state, if you're invested already, hold on for dear life, don't sell because you never know how high it can rise. And if you're not invested, probably it's too late already. The best time to get invested is actually in the awareness phase. That's where it's relatively safer. In this mania bubble phase, things can get out of hand very quickly, which leads to the fourth phase, the blow up phase. The best example to explain is actually in Bitcoin. Back 2-3 years ago, Bitcoin actually rose to 19,000 in a very short span of time. And what happened after that? It crashed. From 19,000, it saw in the next 1 to 2 years a decline all the way to $3,000. That is why when you invest in a bubble, it's very difficult to know when the peak exactly is. So if you're looking for an idea in this awareness phase, what can that be? And I have a friendly suggestion for you, and that is none other than gold. You know, some people say gold is for older people, younger people are going for Bitcoin as alternate currency, but I definitely prefer gold in a lot of ways. That's why I'm in the older generation. But still follow this video over there because gold is really seeing good underlying dynamics. There's so much financial stimulus all around the world. And I believe gold is right now in this awareness phase because while it's broken new highs, not many speculators are in that market. The media is still not covering it excessively and putting unnecessary high expectations to it. So follow the tutorial. Gold might be an interesting topic for you. And with that, I'll see you there. I'll sign off from here. Take care and goodbye.